Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in miniature, and here is a kit that honestly I didn't think we'd ever see in model form again. This is not the first time we have seen a Blue Eyes White Dragon model, and I want to say actually come from Bandai. There were some kits way back when Yu-Gi-Oh! Was first becoming a thing, and I know because I built them. There were 3 dragon kits, in fact, even though you can't see all my fingers there. Maybe it was the 3-headed version. But there were definitely pre-painted, pre-colored dragon kits from somebody at some point in history. But now, with the unfortunate passing of the designer of Yu-Gi-Oh!, whose name is escaping me at the moment, and I'm sure it'll come back to me, it is kind of cool to see his stuff immortalized in plastic kits. I know he was always a big fan of this stuff, too. Going way back, I mean, I can honestly remember dating myself to the point where Yu-Gi-Oh! Was still a manga. I remember seeing it in the weeklies when it was all about other games and stuff, and I remember when they had the dungeon dice. That was really cool. Anyway, let's stop rambling about that, and let's take a look. This is an honest-to-goodness, legit giant dragon kit. How many dragon model kits have you seen released in this style, I might add? Archon stuff doesn't count because those are, even though they're plastic model dragon kits, they are not poseable. And they're not like anime based anyways. So, but this is a full-on, fully posable kit. Can you totally get away with using it in some sort of a game? Absolutely. Each wing is approximately 265 millimeters. Interesting. I'm really curious to see how they actually got that kind of translucent opaqueness for the wingspan itself. There you can see a look at all the parts all laid out. Do you need glue? No. Would it look better with it? Yeah. Am I going to paint it? Of course not. Unfortunately, my box got a little squished in the process of getting it to me. I don't know what it is lately about Bandai kits specifically being very difficult to come across. I'm still looking for the Master Grade SD Freedom Gundam or Strike Freedom or whatever Freedom SD model it was. Someday I hope to see it. Check that out. That's just one part of the wing there. That is huge. That's like the whole runner. Oh no. A wire means we are going to be having to build that tail. Oh well, I can survive. Very shiny, pearly pieces. Very noisy plastic bag. You can see they have a very shiny glossiness to them. It's kind of cool. Kind of different. I mean, this kit in itself is, you know, something kind of different. I'm all for it. As a longtime Gundam fan, even though, you know, I like seeing something new and different, so I'm all for it. I'm not sure what these translucent parts are, but we do actually have some polycaps. That's something seems to be a bit of a rarity these days. No stickers for these Blue Eyes. It's cool to see the interior of the mouth is actually its own separate colored piece. And like all good models, it does have a generic display base included. Now, we haven't seen the wings, have we? Well, they're going to be a lot like Alphamons and a lot of the Figurerise Digimon stuff in there, that this kind of translucent, filmy stuff. Hopefully it doesn't break. I'm always worried about those kinds of things. Let's see the wing construction there. Everything is going to get plugged in. Hopefully that's going to be enough. It gets supported with those extra parts on its membrane. Fingers crossed. I mean, this is a fairly hefty set of instructions. I'm looking forward to it. This part, not so much. I hate having to thread pieces through tails. I've had some very obnoxious kits in the past having to deal with that, but we've managed, we've persevered, and hopefully we're going to do the same today with this kit. So I am going to go enjoy myself, put some, maybe I'll go see if there's any Yu-Gi-Oh! Anime on the TV somewhere I can find and enthrall myself while we build this, and we shall be back soon with our results. So if you want to see them, sit tight. Alright, our dragon is all put together, and I gotta say, I am impressed with quite a few different things. Number one, the fact that he's actually standing on his own. This is a pretty ingenious idea of the way that they actually got his claws posed, is that we've got the three main front ones and his rear one actually acting as a nice counterbalance. So he's actually able to stand up quite well. And that tail does give him a good sense of balance. Despite having to play with the wires, everything works out pretty well. There's a bit of limited posability with said wire in both the tail and the neck, but they weren't that bad of construction. I am a little bit bummed out that you're not able to really do much with the wings. You can't fold them up or anything like that. They're basically just set in place. The material that they used isn't exactly the greatest for those wing membranes, but you know, it gets the job done. So you can see here, he is a pretty big dude, especially when you take into consideration his length with that tail of his, with our entry grade 1144 Gundam here. Obviously, if we want to have him standing up a little bit more, that's totally doable. But I mean, I'm thinking, this is perfect. You want some kind of big bad for your fantasy games or whatever, slap a 100mm base underneath him, you've got yourself a good big boss here. Let me see, I got a old Relic Knights. That's like an 80mm base. You could probably fit something better. If you wanted to just blue tack him on there, I mean, he's pretty stable as it is. You wanted to use it in some sort of a fantasy game, I think it's totally doable. Gargantuan White Dragon. Why gargantuan white dragons are even a thing? Who lets white dragons get that big? I don't even know. But you can see here, in terms of gaming scale, this is going to be great. The only issue is going to be really that wingspan of his. You know, it's just, you can't fold the wings up, but you can put them up. And he can actually hold that reasonably well. Do keep in mind that all of the joints are plastic on plastic. Well, I take that back. There's a couple of ball-jointed polycaps in there as well. But for the most part, everything is just plastic on plastic. I thought the translucent bits for his spikes was an interesting touch. Now, if you are seeing he is starting to get kind of top-heavy with his wings, I'm trying to put them up, but they're not cooperating as much as I would like, unfortunately, and you can't really get a good look at him with them up. He does have a base included. I don't have it handy because I didn't bother to build it yet, because I have a bunch of those bases. And he actually has a special belly section for attaching it to, so you can have him either flying or just basically standing up like such. So, a lot of options in terms of where you're going to have him, what you can do with him, and hopefully that means we're also going to see more from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Monsters in the future, because let's be honest, there are tons of creatures from the series that would make great figures of, you know, be they humanoid or not. But I know we've got, oh, what's his name? The big dude coming, Exodia. Maybe we'll have a like the God of Obelisk. I swear I had a God of Obelisk model. And the Raw Dragon or something. Horus Dragon? I don't remember what they were called. It was a red one. It would look weird, I remember. But anyway. In the meantime, at least, and you can also cheat and use the tail to help keep things stable. Pretty interesting kit. And a fun addition to the Figurerise line. And if you are a fantasy Afikondo, might be a fun kit to build without any glue to worry about. Of course, you do have to use those wires, but it was pretty simple work. So, something fun, something different, and hopefully the start of something to continue with Bandai. And with that said, then, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, saying thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.